What's up friends, Chook here, and today we're going to take a look at the mid-season Mage update. Mid-season magic. Alright, so what I'm basically going to do in this video is go over the 6 main mages that are getting changes. There are a lot of changes in this mid-season mage update patch thing that are coming out. Like there's new dragons and stuff, and new items, all sorts of new stuff. But the main thing I'm going to go over is these 6 champions here: Malzahar, Brand, Vladimir, Zara, Velkoz, and Cassie here. And my opinions on what I think about the changes. Now, if you're new to my channel or anything, in no way am I a pro player or anything like that. I'm ranked silver, so you know I'm not the best player in the world or anything like that. So these are just my opinions. If you think differently, that's fine. And let me know in the comments what you think as well, if you disagree or if you agree or whatever. Okay, first of all, let's look at Malzahar and the changes. I'm only going to go over the actual changes of the kit. Some spells are exactly the same as they already are. But Malzahar looks freaking OP as hell now. He's already super strong. But basically, let's have a look. So he's got a brand new passive. Malzahar enters Void Shift when he hasn't taken direct damage over a period of time. During Void Shift, Malzahar takes massively reduced damage and is immune to crowd control effects, remaining in Void Shift for a small period after taking damage. I'm pretty sure that this the damage they're talking about isn't it doesn't get counted by minion damage. So I think just taking minion damage won't block it. But let's have a look. So you can see that a full charge Scion Q, which would do a lot of damage, just proc that shield, which is kind of like a Banshee's Veil, but only better because it blocks the shield, and then it also lasts for a little bit longer, and the slow didn't do like much damage either. So yeah, his passive is a bit retarded. His Q you can see here in the mini video here. His Q's the same. It's just a line thing with the silence. His W has changed quite a bit. So instead of putting that pull down that did the percentage max health puddle thing, that you would basically put the puddle down, then you would ult someone, right? Sorry, pardon me. It's changed now where Malzahar summons a Voidling that lasts for a set period of time. The first time a Voidling attacks a champion, large monster, epic monster, or assists in killing a unit, Malzahar spawns a new Voidling with the same remaining duration. When 3 or more Voidlings are active, they all gain bonus attack speed. So basically, he now has a his Voidling. His old passive was, you know, every X amount of casts he would get a Voidling. Da 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 da. Now he can just summon them at will, and when they attack a champion or a big monster or a epic monster like Dragon or Baron or something, they summon on themselves. So let's have a look. So you can see here, it's just attacking the minion. It's not doing anything. It's not spawning anything else. But when he puts Malefic Visions on it, it targets Scion. And each time a Voidling hits Scion, it spawns another Voidling. And when that new Voidling hits Scion, it spawns another Voidling. So, yeah, I think there's something in here, it doesn't really say, but they are attracted, the Voidlings are attracted to whatever Malefic Visions it's on. So basically, you summon a Voidling, put Malefic Visions on someone, or Space Aids, or whatever you want to call it, and then that Voidling will go attack it. When it attacks it, it spawns a new Voidling. When that Voidling attacks it, it'll spawn a new one, etc. I think there's a cap of 4, even though in that video there was 3, and yeah, when they have more than 3, they gain bonus attack speed. So, I'm pretty sure also the Voidlings still scale off AD, so maybe AD, what's his name? Malzahar is even stronger now, because you can just get, like, imagine AD Malzahar with 4 of these, just smashing on a turret. That would be insane. Space Aids is the same, basically. It's just, you know, you kill someone, it bounces the next person, bounces the next person. His ult has changed quite a bit. So before, his ult was just a suppression. Well, not just, but it was a suppression and a massive nuke, right? Now it is basically taken his old ult of the suppression and mixed it with that, I can't remember what the ability is called, his old W, the puddle, the pool on the ground. It's mixed it into both. But the ult doesn't do the stupid damage it used to. So you can see here, it still suppresses. And it creates that puddle on the ground that hurts everyone inside that puddle for percentage health. So it's more of a suppression there with an AoE attached to it. But still, if you had Voidlings out and you Malefic Vision someone and then you suppress them, they would have the suppression, so they can't move. They would have all the minions on them, all the voidlings on them. They would have malefic visions on them, and they would have that puddle. It's still going to do a shit ton of damage, but it's just mixing both spells into one and taking the retarded damage of the suppression off as it is now. So that's Malzahar. He looks super strong. I think he's changed the most out of everyone. Next is Brand. The main thing that's changed with Brand is his passive. So Brand's old passive was the burning thing, where it would do a percentage of their maximum health on burn on a spell hit. That still exists. However, we'll read this. Brand spells light the target ablaze, dealing a percentage of their maximum health as magic damage over time. That stayed the same. On the third stack, the blaze becomes unstable for a few seconds and detonates, dealing a large percentage of the target's maximum health as an area of effect. So, basically, if you get 3 spells off someone, and this works in Brand's favor because he's a combo mage, right? You want to E, Q, W someone in a perfect scenario. That would E would put 1 stack, Q 2 stacks, W 3 stacks, would then cause this unstable detonation, and we'll see it here. So 1 stack, 2 stacks, 3 stacks. This unstable circle goes off. Bang. That puts 3 stacks on these 2. They also blow up. So you can see it combos quite nicely. If we watch it again, when Anivia gets the 3rd stack on her and it detonates, she'll have a like an ashen circle around her after this procs. See that black circle around her? That means she can't take any more stacks while that circle's around her. So it won't infinitely stack on itself. Like, you can't just get 3 stacks on someone, it blows up someone else, they blow up, put a stack back on them, and you can just stack forever. But yeah, if they haven't had a 3rd stack on them blow up yet, and it detonates, it will put stacks on other people. So you can get sort of a chain reaction on people, but it won't be an indefinite chain reaction, if that makes sense. Q is basically the same. It's just a skill shot line nuke that does damage, and if they're already ablaze, it will stun. W is the same, E is the same, Ultimate's the same, and it also slows. I'm not sure if it slows on live now. I'm not too sure about that, but it briefly slows. Prioritizing will prioritize champions for the next bounce. Blaze will now briefly. Yeah, so that's mainly the main change with Brand, is that new passive stacking detonation thing, which is pretty cool, actually. I like that. I don't play Malzahar so much, but I play Brand here and there, so that's a cool change I'm looking forward to. Okay, next, Vladimir. He's also changed a little bit. His passive is basically the same. You know, you get health, it gives you AP. You get AP, it gives you health. His Q has changed quite a bit. Well, not quite a bit, but enough. So, Vladimir drains life from his target. After casting Transfusion twice, Vladimir gains Crimson Rush for a few seconds. Let's pause this till we're ready to watch it. Gains Crimson Rush for a few seconds, and the next time the transfusion is available to cast, granting him bonus movement speed and bonus damage. So, if we look here, he's already cast it once, right? Hang on, let's start this video again, just in case. Yeah, okay, so you cast Transfusion once, and this bar on the bottom goes up to halfway. When you cast it a second time, it will fill the bar. You see it here filling up. And as soon as that bar gets full, it starts depleting. And during that time, you have bonus movement speed. And when you use Transfusion again, that 3rd transfusion will give more damage. But what's also cool is when you do that 3rd transfusion, it also applies the first bar of the next transfusion. So basically, when you get to max and you use, you get halfway, you've used one, use the second one to get you to max. Then in that, while the time that red dwindles down, you use it again, you're already halfway again. So it's basically every second cast of transfusion is going to be doing extra damage as while you're in combat. It's pretty sweet. His troll pool is the same. His E is completely different. Completely different. So before he had that weird stacking thing where you would have to cast it within, I think it was 8 seconds or something, and it stacked up to 4 times, and you did more damage with all the other spells, the more stacks you had, and it was a bit clunky and awkward. Well, I found it at least. It's changed now. Tides of Blood. Vladimir charges up a reservoir of blood, paying a large portion of his maximum health over a period of time to increase Tides of Blood's damage. On release, or after a couple of seconds, Vladimir unleashes a sphere of blood, dealing magic damage. At full charge, Tides of Blood slows Vladimir while he holds it, and it will briefly slow targets when he releases it. That sounds kind of complicated and whatever, but it's pretty easy to understand. So basically now, you do this chargy thing, and when you release it, it's a big AoE around you. And while you're charging it, you get slowed. And at full cast, it slows them. But you can see it's an AoE completely around him. So if someone, let's pause it here. If the Darius was walking behind these minions would basically block the shots for him, and he wouldn't get hit. So it can be blocked by minions. But you can see that's a pretty big AoE. So if you're in a team fight and that goes off and you hit 3 or 4 people, that's pretty awesome. And his ultimate's the same. He does the big area of effect, delayed damage thing, goes off, and it heals him as well now. I don't think it used to heal him, but now it does. So that's the Vladimir changes. Pretty significant. I mean, his Q has a new element to it. His E is completely different, and now his ult heals him. I'm pretty sure his ult doesn't heal him live, but anyway. Zara, she's changed a little bit. Now, I'm a Zara player, so these changes... I don't know. I don't know if I'm happy with this, but let's have a look. Her passive is completely new. So her passive, as it currently is on live, is when she dies, she comes back as that plant thing and has a skill shot that does true damage. Kind of like a... what's his name? Cogmore. When he dies, he blows up. Chases people, blows up. I kind of like that passive. It's kind of a bit but I've got so many kills with it after the fact. Like, I'll have plants hitting people and slowing them, whatever, and then I do the piercing shot thing and get a kill. This has now changed it where she just passively... But basically, I'm not going to read all this, but she passively just creates seeds around her. If my internet wants to work. No? Internet? Hello? Okay, let's try that again. Let's just click on a new thing and see if that works. Come on. Okay, it doesn't want to work. Maybe it'll work itself out. But you can see here, there's four seeds here. She might just spawn another one over here or another one down here or whatever. It's kind of like not Zara. She's Zara. Alawi's tentacles, but they summon much faster, and they don't need to be on walls. Obviously, they just summon wherever. Let's refresh the page and see if that helps. Okay, Zara. Passive. Go. Alright, it works. So you see, summons one there. Summons another one there. The higher level you are, the quicker they spawn, apparently. So, yeah. I like it in the way that you don't have to think about it and you just get free seeds. But the thing is, if you're in lane... So let's go back to this video. If you're in lane and say you're obviously there and like you're fighting someone over here. Well, or say you're fighting someone over here. And your seed like spawns there. That's not going to help you. And then another seed spawns here and here. They're also not going to help you. Like, it kind of just seems a bit way too random. Another thing is if enemies walk over the seeds, they die. Like normal. So, I don't know. It just seems way too like random that you can't guarantee where they're going to be. But at the same time, you're getting free seeds, you're getting free plants. We'll see how it goes, but I'm not sure if I 100% like that new passive or not. Okay, so her Q is basically the same, but instead of it being a AoE circle skill shot, it's now a line, kind of like a Malzahar Q. It's like a line Q now. Why is this not loading? It's very strange. Let's have another look. So you can see there it's a line thing, and it summons all the it does the damage all in that line. The thing I do like about this new Zara update is that your skills to summon plants don't need to be directly on top of the seeds. They just need to be near the seed. So you see here, the seed is here. She doesn't summon it right on top of the seed. It's just near the seed, and the seed still changes to the plant. So when you do those plays in team fights or something, and you just miss the plant as it is at the moment, the seed as it is at the moment, you don't make that plant, and it costs you a lot of damage or whatever. Now, if it's just as long as you cast a spell within a certain radius of the seed, I'm not sure what the radius is, you will summon the plant. So going back to the passive, if this is here and this is here, and you create a line through the middle of there, it would probably still spawn plants on both of those. And then, so say you cast a line like straight through here, it may get these two and that one. Who knows? Anyway, her W is the same. You can just place plants as you want them. So this is still your ability to... Sorry, seeds. You can still put your seeds wherever you want them. And instead of giving cooldown reduction, it now makes your plants have more maximum health. So they're more healthy, they last longer. The E is the same. It's just the grasping roots is the same. So you see there that grasping roots didn't quite hit the Maokai, but it was close enough to this seed that it got it. And the ult is basically the same. It's just the circle that pops everyone up. So, and it makes your plant stronger as well, like it already does. So that's the Zara change. Mainly, it's the passive making new seeds, and the Q is a line skill shot now is the difference. Okay, next is Velkoz. Okay, so Velkoz's passive is pretty much the same. Velkoz spells build organic deconstruction, stacks on an enemy. The third hit consumes all the stacks. It will deal bonus true damage. This true damage scales with level and ability power. I'm not sure if current is true damage, but basically it's the same. You get 3 stacks of your passive. So when you hit someone with a spell, you get 1 stack. You get 3 spells on them, 3 stacks on them. It blows up. It does true damage. Hurts. The Q is basically the same. It's still the skill shot that splits off into 90-degree angles. However, now Velkoz shoots a bolt of plasma that splits into The bolts slow enemy, same thing. Plasma Fission refunds half its mana cost if it kills a unit, and the target indicator is now only displayable for Velkoz. So at the moment on live, when you use your Q, they can see the little indicator when you proc it, and they know, oh shit, okay, it's going to come out 90 degrees from there. Now, your opponent won't be able to see that. So when you proc it, it's going to be more of a surprise. They're not going to know the maximum range of it or anything like that. It also refunds mana if you kill a unit. So I think it's half mana if you kill a unit. So for instance, if you did this on if we watch this again, if he did this to the Scion and it killed these 2 minions, he would get the whole mana back for that spell, because 50% for both kills. So if you can somehow work it out to kill multiple targets, you could potentially earn more mana than what it's worth. Anyway, that's pretty cool. W's the same, E's the same, and the ultimate has changed a little bit. It is still... Okay, actually, we'll watch this after I've explained it. It's still the laser, which is awesome. But Velkoz now unleashes a channeling beam that follows the cursor for 2.5 seconds that deals damage and slows enemies. I think the slow is new, actually. Anyway, all enemies that are deconstructed become researched. Life form, so this is the deconstructed thing. When you get 3 stacks on someone, you deconstruct them. That's what the new thing is. Lifeform disintegration ray deals true damage to research champions, but no longer deconstructs enemies. So what that means is, when you do your ultimate on people, you see that the Scion is no longer getting stacks of the passive on him. It won't give you any more stacks. However, if you have put 3 stacks on someone, you get this circle around them, which means they're researched. Now, when you do the ult against a research target, it does true damage. And you can see the difference in the damage. So he basically nearly killed Scion just with his ultimate, whereas the first Scion that he did, with no research, did what, like a quarter? So a quarter damage, unresearched, compared to, 3/4 damage with research. So basically the new Velkoz, instead of like maybe getting 1 stack on someone, so it's basically shooting out your Q and then shooting out your E, getting him to 2 stacks, and then ulting to get that 3rd stack, and then maybe get another 3 stacks with your ult. That's kind of changed. You want to try and get 3 stacks on someone and then ult them. So in team fights, I'm going to think that that's going to be actually a bit harder to do, because it's pretty hard to get 3 stacks on someone in a team fight. But in lane and in duels and stuff, it's not too bad. You Q someone, you W someone, and then you pop them up. That'll give you 3 stacks, and then you ult them. So if you can hit your whole combo on one person, they're pretty fucked. But in a team fight, it's going to be a lot harder. But for laning, that's pretty great. And then the last one we have is Cassie. So she has changed quite a bit. Now, Cassie has changed a bit over the years anyway. She's got a completely new passive again. So if you guys were playing Cassie back in the day, before her pseudo rework, her passive used to be that the more it was a stacking passive. So the more spells you cast, the less mana they cost. So it would be like, I think it stacked up to like 5 times or something. So it would be like, if you cast a spell, the next spell is cost 90% of its normal mana. Then 2 stacks would be 80%, all the way down to half, 50% of your mana. So the more the more spells you cast, the less mana it would be overall. To promote that, constantly spamming Twin Fang and Poison and all the rest of it. Then they changed it, I don't know, about a year and a half or 2 years ago, or whatever it was, or maybe sooner, to that thing where you would get stacks for poisoning champions and all that, and you would get to 100 stacks, you would get a certain passive, 200 stacks, you would get a certain thing, and then 500 stacks, you'll get a certain thing. They've now changed that again, so it seems like they're working on Cassie a bit. They're not quite happy with it. Now, she doesn't need boots. You cannot buy boots with Cassie. She just gains movement speed per level. This does not stack with movement speed from boots. I don't even think you could buy boots with her. So her passive is basically just, you get movement speed every level. Which frees her money up, so she doesn't need to buy boots. So say, like, she buys Sork boots or something, like, 1,100 or 1,000 or something? She basically gets a 3,000 gold, which she could then buy tiers for free, effectively. Because it's, the money she would have been spending on boots, she can spend on tiers. However, you're going to lose that magic pen from the Sork boots. So, it's good that she doesn't need to buy boots. You don't even need to worry about it. You get an extra item as well that you can build. So an extra damage item or whatever. But you lose the magic pen from the boots. And yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But I don't mind it. You get a new item slot. And you just become faster over the game. It's pretty good. Her Q is the same. It's just a poison thing that does damage. Same as always. Her W has changed a lot. So on live at the moment, it's kind of that weak, shitty, slow poison that you just put down and it grows over time and it doesn't really do anything and it's kind of crap. Apart from the fact that if you're killing minions or something, you put it down and it lasts for quite a while. And so everything inside that area is poison, so you can just Twin Fang to fucking Kingdom Come. You can just keep Twin Fanging. That way it's good. But it's, I don't know. I don't like it. I think that W is definitely the worst part of her kit. Now they've changed it. It's kept the same name, but Cassiopeia spews venom in an arc in front of her, leaving toxic clouds on the ground. Enemies in the cloud are continuously affected by debilitating poison, slowing them and grounding them, prohibiting from using movement abilities. They also take damage per second. So they're poisoned, which means that the Twin Fang. We'll get on to Twin Fang next because that's changed a little bit as well. But they're poisoned while they're inside of it. They're slowed while they're inside of it, so it's the same. But they can't move. They can't use movement abilities. So Yas dashes. It's kind of like Poppy's W now. You can't use movement. So I'm guessing Ezreal's E won't be able to use. Sion's ultimate, things like that. Anything that you're going to be able to use to move, you're not going to be able to do it while standing on top of this. But there's a catch, which just sounds fucking awesome, right? It has a set cast distance. So you can't, like Vi standing right in front of Cassie now. She can't cast it on the Vi. It'll go to about here. Let's watch and see. See, it has a set distance. So that's going to be the trick with the new Cassie, is learning the distance of this and using it effectively. So in team fights and stuff, it's going to be brutal because you want to be in the back lines. You're a mage. You don't want to be up face tanking people. You can put that down, stop people from getting away or stop people from engaging or the rest of it. But in lane, if someone jumps on you, you don't have that instant kind of slow area that you can just put wherever you want. But at the same time, look at the coverage of this thing. You can put it on choke points, like on here. You can do it on here to stop people getting away. I reckon it's going to be pretty good. Pretty good. And Twin Fang has changed a little bit. So Cassiopeia lets loose a damaging attack on her target, healing her in the process. If poisoned, the target takes additional damage. If the target dies, Cassie gains mana. So basically, Twin Fang is now... You know how when someone's poisoned, Twin Fang is on like a stupid cooldown, like 0.7 seconds or something. Twin Fang is always now 0.7 seconds. So you don't need to have someone poisoned to use it, like spam the shit out of it. you could just use it. Hopefully this video shows that. I don't know if it does. No, it's not going to show it. But basically, it's got that really, really low cooldown that it has if you've poisoned someone. But now, but it doesn't do that much damage. It'd be good for last hitting and stuff. But yeah, the damage on it is actually kind of piss poor. So if we watch this again, the damage to the severe is kind of right? But if she's poisoned and then it's done, the damage is a lot more. So you're still going to be wanting to damage people and then just rattle off as many twin fangs as you can while they're poisoned. But you do have the ability to just rattle off twin fangs just anyway. It does heal you, and if something dies, you do get your mana back. So I can see Cassie not even auto-attacking really anymore, because she's probably got like a one second attack speed or whatever. Whereas this is on a less than a second, so you may as well just twin fang, right? It heals you. If you kill something, you get your mana back. And, if you're building tiers or something, you're going to have a shitload of mana anyway. So, yeah, pretty cool change. I like it. I like that change a bit. And I like this change, but you got to get used to the range. And the passive, we'll see. But, yeah, we'll see how it goes. And the ultimate is the same. If someone's facing you, they get stunned. If someone's running away from you, they get slowed. So there are all the changes for the main 6 mages. I think Malzahar definitely came out trumps. I think his passive is stupid. It's just a free Banshee's Veil. And he gets his Voidlings. He can just summon whenever he wants. And yeah, I mean, his ult took a little bit of a hit as far as damage goes. But if you still load up everyone with all your other spells and then ult them, they're still pretty fucked. Yeah. And then there are some changes here, which I'll quickly go over. Tibbers now visually more any stun targets. So I guess if you stun, Tibbers does more damage. Decrepify now sends Beatrice to a target location to cripple enemies. So instead of casting it now, the Decrepify is the slow, the laser bird thing. Instead of it now just being cast from wherever and they can just run out of it quickly, I guess his Raven goes to them, so it's harder for them to get away. Fiddlesticks, new passive means Fiddlesticks standing still for a moment, he'll give movement speed boost. So anytime you're draining someone, whenever you finish the drain, you'll get a movement speed boost. So I guess the problem with Fiddles a lot of the time is if you drain someone and someone runs away from you, you basically can't catch back up to them, right? Now you can. Satchel Charge, Zig's Satchel Charge will execute turrets if they're low. That's pretty good. I like that as far as the theme goes. He's an explosives expert. So, he should be able to blast towers up. So if they get to a certain point of health, you put a Satchel Charge down. That makes sense. He blows up turrets. Syndra can spawn more Dark Spheres, so her ult's just going to be stupid. Zerath, I don't really... Well, let's read it. Barrage that successfully hits enemy champions grants an extra barrage up to a maximum. Gains more barrages as he ranks up Rite of the Arcane. So I guess you get a chain reaction on barrages now. Anivia, her ultimate deals more damage. And her ultimate expands now. So Glacial Storm now expands over time, so it gets bigger, which is really good, and deals more damage at maximum size. And Vhagar, a new passive grants Vhagar Extreme Evil ability power for hitting enemy champions with spells, killing monsters and minions and takedowns. So I guess his passively stacking AP thing also now he gets AP just for hitting champions with spells. So Vhagar's AP thing is going to go through the roof. So there you go. That's the mid-season Mage update as far as champions goes in a nutshell and my opinions on it. Like I said, let me know your opinions on things and whether you like the changes or don't. The only changes I don't really like, I think, and out of all these champions, the one I played the most is probably Zara. And I'm not sure on that passive plant thing with the seed, the passive seed thing. I don't know, it just, you can't control it. So if you're fighting someone over here and all these seeds are planting, I don't know, I guess you've got an escape. You could go back here and cast Grasping Roots to get a slow and stuff, but I don't know. I'm not too sure. I mean, seeds for nothing is awesome, but it's too randomized for my liking. Either way, there you go. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you learned something. I mean, you've probably all checked this page out anyway, but I thought I would go over it in depth as it is quite a big change to the game. Anyway, as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.